we want to condemn because I was there. I was at the parliament by that time when that young man was being killed. We were there. And I think as when I take over as a president of the Republic of Kenya, I will also ask for the religious leaders to come and cleanse the parliament, because the parliament, the blood for the first time in history since its inception, the blood was shed at the gates of the parliament. So we must also have to cleanse it so that we can purify it. It can be a holy place where good things will always come from. First of all, I know every time the life is sacred. And as a leader, as a national leader who has been anointed, you must have a principle that the life is sacred. And you must respect the life because it's godly given and it's godly. And so as a leader, if I take over, we must also get to inquire, the commission of inquiry, to know who are these perpetrators and whatever. We know, yes, you have to protect the property, but was it just justifiable that you can kill? And even the story that was there, where those people quarry, we want to know, like those bodies that were retrieved, where did they go? When there was a guy who was arrested at one point and then disappeared from. What happened on that? So we must, so that we can account for every life that God has given to us. So as a leader, I have to protect, because you, when you're given as a constitution, you have to protect the citizen, and you abide by the constitution, that your work is to protect the lives of your people. And that is what I will have to do.
Mheshimiwa, I have a question. Yes. In regards to freedom of speech, in our government here currently, there is no freedom of speech. People are even scared to talk about their issues. How will your government ensure that there's freedom of speech in our nation?
First of all, if you allow the people to speak, it also makes you to know where the problem is. You must allow the people, as a president, allow the people to speak. Like, for example, when I do, maybe on social media, there are those who will insult you. There are those who will put up a very good point. So as a person, as a leader, we must allow the freedom of expression under my leadership.
Should Gachagua call you to the table and ask you to partner with him, would you accept?
First of all, I cannot refuse, but the thing, I don't want to be like Kinamurara. I don't want the people to be called and be like Murara. I'm a principled man. And that is how you want to be the member of parliament of Mumias East constituency. I don't believe in money thing. Yes, money is important, but I believe in the spirit of consistency. I believe in the spirit of determination. And if they will say that, Peter SALASYA, you are a good man, we have seen what you have done, we want to support you to be the president of the Republic of Kenya, then let them support me. And I will deliver in the morning by saa 12, I'll be the president of the Republic of Kenya, and I'll be able, within 90 days of my leadership, Kenya will be the happiest people. By the way, Kenya will be the happiest, because every system will be running. Worried about the 30 years from now, 40 years from now, because the systems are not working, and the people who are occupying the system, they are not of goodwill or not working with utmost good faith in order to ensure that, because you remember that in the Kibaki leadership, there was 2030 vision 2030, but we are not seeing the leadership that is looking hard there. But we are looking at people who are self-centered and looking at the people who want, because everybody is saying that Ruto must go. Then who should replace Ruto if it's not Peter SALASYA? Because the Kenyans want, or the young people want, a leader who is transparent, who wants his honesty, and who is ready to abide by the rule of law. And that is why I've been looking at the people who want to replace him. And then I say that they are not working. Remember, Peter SALASYA has been just like a week or 2 weeks ago, I've been able to traverse the entire Western Kenya. We are now going for another tour of Nyamira, of Kisii, of Nyanza, coastal region, the northeastern, the eastern, and then the Mount Kenya, and then the Rift Valley. And because we've also seen that as much as we embrace from where we come from, the tribal, whatever, but the youth, the young people, are not interested about the who come, because at the end of the day, when these people get the position, it is about them. It's not about the other people or the entire community. It's about the few cronies, the few friends. And that is what now the young people in their, what they want is the fairness in their CVs, fairness in their whatever, in whatever they do. And this is what has really made me to come out and say that as a young person, because by 2027 I'll be turning 35 years old. So which means that I'll be in a threshold to hold a constitutional role of being the president of the Republic of Kenya. Remember the countries like Burkina Faso, people like Kina Traore, they are young people. And you see that the darling of the Africans because they want their country to be self-sustainable. And that is why you see people like in Obama, people who took when at the, because when I take the president at this early age, I know I still have like about, maybe by God's grace, I want to get to around 90 or 100 years by God's grace. So which means that I have to live with these people and I have to maintain the legacy that will enable me to live good in happiness with these people. But these people, the older generation, they don't care. They think about few years remaining, by God's grace, okay, we are not praying for anyone, whatever. And that is what has really prompted me. And I'm a leader who is who knows how to balance leadership. There is time for fun, there is time for leadership, there is time to provide way, and all those things. And all those qualities I do have. I'm a graduate from the Egerton University, and I did Bachelor of Commerce, Banking and Finance. And I also worked as a banker. And I worked as a teller. And even in my history, I never stole money from either. I used to get a salary of 50,000 shillings, and I used to handle every day 30 million. So which means that I'm a person who is self-driven and who has the principle of accountability, principle of transparency in everything. And even for the last like 2 years in my leadership as a member of parliament of Mumias East, you can see when you walk in Mumias East constituency, it is a clear demonstration that despite of whatever we do on social media, because I like playing also, I like making jokes on social media, but I'm a very serious person when it comes to serious matters. And that is why I see I'm the only savior, God-driven, God-sent leader that who can unite this country and bring people. I know there was some anchors that we were passing around when we were saying this community is doing what, but we have healed. We are now ready to bring all the GENZs from Nyanza, from Kisiaya, from everywhere, so we can move together.
Maybe Honorable SALASYA, thank you so much for telling us your intentions. We have had two issues in this country, independence of institutions. I think kuna venye institutions zingine ziko compromised. You have been in Bunge. What can you say about that? Is it part of, or is it a priority in your manifesto that
Yes,
institutions have to be free?
part of my key manifesto is to respect the independent bodies. And one of the key reasons why this country is suffering is because the independency of these agencies, government agencies, they have failed. And that's why they cannot do what they're supposed to be doing. And if I'm the president of the Republic of Kenya, I will allow the parliament to do their work. And I will not allow the parliament to come to the State House. I'll be like the king, will be just like, because I will not allow even the parliamentary grouping in the State House. It will be like a simple, the father of everybody. Whether it's the opposition, whether it's in the government, supporting the government, we will all, they will be all my children. I'm just saying, I'm not my children, but I'm just saying because of the virtue of being the presidency. And I will allow the judiciary to do their work. And it will make my work easy. If I allow the judiciary to work, I allow the parliament to work, I allow the Senate to work, I allow the public prosecution to work, I allow all the DCI to do their work, I allow everything to do, I will be enjoying my leadership when I sleep, because I know every institution is doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Finally, there has been an issue of debts.
Yes.
As it stands, tuko na about 11 trillion in debts as a country. What is your focus? How are you going to focus on that? And precisely, maybe hii imekuwa a policy issue that people are supposed to sit down, discuss before they borrow. But as it stands, it looks like it is dominated in a way that somebody can just wake up, take a loan, ama recommend a loan has to be taken. How are you going to handle that when you take power as a president?
As a president, like this problem that we are having today was done like in the last government, when they passed a legislation that a government can go ahead and borrow the money even without consulting the National Assembly. and up to a certain level. And this is what has made this country to overborrow. You remember when they came, when His Excellency, the President, came in, he said that he wants this country to be self-sustainable, whereby we are not going to borrow. We want this country to be like Mali, that it has been able to pay all its debts and has no any debt, because this is something, because you remember, during the Moise era, Moi never used to borrow the money from outside, and that's why you find like despite the fact that the economy was not doing reaching to everybody, but you find like the shilling was very strong, and then the manufacturing was everywhere in this country. So